Hey, welcome to the Andy Johnson Group, your go-to specialist in the luxury market in Palm Beach County. Today, we're going to dive into what new construction looks like in 2025. So if you're interested in that, you better keep watching. That's right, my name's Andy Johnson over at the Andy Johnson Group, and if this is your first time checking us out, welcome. Glad to have you. Today we're going to dive into something that is a little bit different, and that's what's going on with new construction. And when I say a little bit different, I mean we're seeing something that we haven't seen in quite some time. I'm going to tell you about that in just a moment. If this is your first time with us on the channel, you're going to make sure that you ring that bell and subscribe so you can be notified anytime we post new content about what's going on down here, so you're always in the know about where the deals are, where the best place to eat is, and everything else that has to do with living in South Florida. But what am I talking about today with what's going on in new construction? Well, we're starting to see something nationally that we haven't seen in a long time, and that is that new construction is starting to come in priced under existing homes. That's right, you heard me correctly. You can go get a brand new property for less than something that's already built. That is absolutely insane. It's not something that we've seen anytime recently. And stay tuned, because I'm going to tell you why, if you're a buyer, that's really important to you. So you're going to want to watch until the end so you can learn more about that. All right, so this is in the news, folks. This isn't something that we're just coming up with in data right here. It's a Zillow article that actually just came out. New U.S. homes are now cheaper per foot, by the foot, than existing ones. And it goes through an entire list of what that looks like. New homes sold for $3.50 less per foot than existing homes, and this was in May. This is the largest discount in 6 years, and this is happening all over the place. Their chart actually goes all over the country and shows the biggest and the smallest, and this is an average. So check this out. Price per square foot discount for new homes compared to existing homes. In San Diego, California, it was $57.10. You could get a home $57.10 less expensive on a new construction than that was something existing. On the other side of that, you have places like Providence, Rhode Island, where, hey, it's $11.30 more expensive to buy new homes. But then when we get more regional in our area, we have Orlando, which was $2.60 cheaper to buy a brand new property than something that's existing. So this is a regional thing, and we're definitely going to talk about specifically how that affects our area here in South Florida and what that looks like, because it does change and there's components that come into it that I think that you absolutely have to consider. So as of June 2025, the median sales price for new homes, and this is nationally, fell 5% from May to about $401,000, while existing homes still averaged at about $435,000. Now, we know if you're looking in Palm Beach County, right, or specifically Palm Beach Gardens or Jupiter, you're not going to get a single family home for $435,000. So that's why we're looking, at this nationally, or why we need to understand that these are national numbers. And again, I don't think this has as large of an effect specifically in Palm Beach County, but it is still important if you're looking to buy down here. And in July of this year, builder confidence is actually remaining extremely low, with an index of 33, down from about 41 a year ago, to combat the weak demand. So, the funny thing about this, though, and I wanted to hit this real quick, is we hear things like that. It's down to an index of 33. Well, what is the index? What does that even mean? Is it good? Is it bad? Is it 33 out of 34? Well, obviously not, because I told you it was down from 41 last year, but is that out of 45, out of 50? And it's not. The index goes out of 100, and what it measures is builders that are selected. It's a panel of builders nationally that come together, and then they put this rating together. And then, I was curious, because I wasn't know, but so in the 1980s, in 85, it showed a reading of 50 at a time when the annual housing starts were around 1.7 million. In the 90s, it dropped to 20 GDP as the annual housing starts declined to 1 million. In the 2000s, there was a short recession caused by the dot-com bust, as I'm sure most of you remember. But by 2005, when things were really popping right before the crash, the HMI was back over to 70. And then in the 2010s, we were down in the 60s, just to kind of give you a point of reference of what that looks like, you know. And then another thing that I thought was super interesting is why, you know, what's affecting builder confidence. And, you know, this is what I have right here, and we're happy to send you is, you know, the things that is affecting the builders the most. Their largest and their highest level of concern is interest rates, rising inflation, buyers expecting prices or interest rates will decline if they wait. They don't expect that. Cost availability of labor, and then building materials are going to be their largest concerns. So what does this really mean here, and how is it relevant in our area? Well, I think that when you look at specifically Jupiter, Palm Beach Gardens, and North Palm Beach County, the effect is much less. And part of that is due to the amount of new construction that can even happen in this area anymore. So much of what's been built or can be built here has already been built. There's not a lot of available land, which is a little bit different than if you go just to the north in St. Lucie County, which we've talked about in other videos. St. Lucie is blowing up. I mean, it's going absolutely crazy, especially in West St. Lucie. There is a lot of land being developed, and with that, there's more houses that are being built. So, you know, when you look at Palm Beach Gardens and Jupiter, the big community that's being developed right now is Avenir. It's out on North Lake, if you're familiar with the area, but it's really pushing far out west. And when it's done, you know, it's going to be its own little city out there for all practical purposes. But right now, the infrastructure isn't all the way there. Plus, if you want to be close to the beach, you know, that's not the place that you want to live. So, you know, but there's not a lot of other choices. Artistry is pretty much 100% complete. You have Alton pretty much 100% complete. And then all the other new builds, for the most part, are going to be just small little enclaves of properties that haven't been developed. And most of those that are being done at this point are being done with ultra luxury properties, you know, at often $5 million and higher, or what we're seeing is existing properties being torn down and new properties being built. But then again, like I said, you look at a Port St. Lucie or a Tampa where there is land to be developed, that's where I think you're seeing builders having a lot more pressure than maybe that they're realizing here. That being said, though, the builders are experiencing pressure here in Palm Beach County just like they are everywhere. Buyer demand is down and supply is up. That is a matter of numbers. It's as simple as that. And so what does that mean for you? What that means for you is significant, I'm saying significant incentives from these builders. 38% of builders are cutting prices on their inventory right now. And a lot of them are offering, when I say a lot, I mean a lot, almost all are offering rate buy downs and other types of credits to get buyers in the door. You know, some builders are definitely holding out. They want to hold their prices where they are, but as their supply continues to sit, they have to get those properties out. A lot of the ready-built stuff, not the custom homes especially, you can walk in and just get an absolutely amazing deal. You know, everybody else is paying 6.5, 7% interest rate, depending on credit. You can go in there and get something as low as a 5. On top of that, they're giving you things to help finish the house out, and it's really, really ideal. You know, a couple specifically here, out in Avenir, as I was mentioning, Solano Bay and Palm Beach Gardens, when we were doing this video, buyers can access up to $85,000 in incentives. I mean, let's just assume that you're purchasing a home for $850,000. That's 10% that you can possibly get. And there's interest rate buy downs. Again, there's tons of stuff, and they obviously have certain conditions that apply. Regional listings across Palm Beach County include hot deals and incentives on new homes, mainly ranging from $622,000 to $2.35 million. Now, one area that I do want to tell you about, though, where we're not experiencing these as much, is if you happen to be in the ultra luxury market, kind of $5 million and above. Folks, that market is hot still here, and that's one of the things that's one of the driving forces in Palm Beach, really in North Palm Beach County. And we are seeing that new construction still occur, but those houses are getting picked up quickly. So the bottom line is, if you are in the market for new construction, or if you're really in the market for a home at all, new construction needs to be on your radar. If it's in your price point and it's in a location that you want, you need to be going to do that. But make sure you give me a call so I can point you to these different areas and let you know what's available, set appointments for you. Or if you're in another area outside of here, you know, we're partnered with a lot of great agents that can tell you which builders are offering the best deals possible. And at the end of the day, that's what you want, right? You want to take advantage of this buyer's market. And do not forget, in this buyer's market, you can if you're buying an existing home, right, you can take advantage, not in the same way as this, but you can go for all of those seller credits and closing costs that can potentially be offered. Bottom line, folks, is I understand that the market is in decline right now, right? That is what the data says. It's not an opinion, it's a fact. And there are some real opportunities out there. Don't be one of those people that calls me 4 years from now, 3 years from now, 2 years from now and goes, man, I wish I would have bought. I wish I would have bought because now I feel like I've been priced out of the market. I am telling you, there are some amazing deals here in South Florida. So if you've ever thought about looking, now is the time to keep your eyes peeled. Doesn't mean you have to buy something, but it is definitely a time to be watching. Thank you for checking out the video today. Please reach out anytime. And if you forgot to earlier, go ahead and subscribe now. Thanks a lot. See you later.